Government IT is an interesting space these days. We certainly see a lot on the news today about some of the different priorities that government has, and we get very involved in that space. Certainly one of the things we hear about, you hear about it on the news all the time, is security. Security is an area that a lot of people are very focused on. But at its core, one of the things that we focus on is how can we help agencies prioritize some of the decisions that they're making and help them to make better decisions. And those are some of the initiatives that we're working on with our government customers right now. Things like helping them to really make sure that everybody's voice is heard, making sure that they're investing in the right programs that support their mission in the best way, and really taking a look at more than just the data, but also talking to the subject matter experts in the space, the subject matter experts in the programs, so that they can have their voice heard as well and give some input as to what's important to them. There's a lot of challenges that I see government faced with right now, and one of them is the balancing of how do we do things in a secure manner, how do we do things in a way that's innovative, how do we attract a younger workforce, and how do we really make sure that at the end of the day we're supporting our mission and we're supporting our stakeholders and the citizens of our country. That's something that we work with our government customers on. We have about 40 to 50 active government customers right now who are working in a very collaborative way towards making some of these decisions and taking a look at things like the right data that's required, looking at quantitative metrics, but also taking a look at the subjective nature of things and really understanding what's important that maybe can't be quantified so easily in a number. And that's a lot of the work that we get involved in, is helping them rationalize those two areas. It's without kind of going into and talking about some of our specific government customers, we have a lot of great examples. We have one large government agency that has been able to go forward and get some additional funding, because they've been able to defend where they were going to be investing their dollars. We always hear that a lot of times. It says, that the secretary's priority is to invest in this particular program. And that's always the case, but we never really have a good comeback to say, well, what else gets impacted? That's something that we're able to do, right? I always talk about it as the adult conversation in the room. It forces that. That's what we help to do, and that's what we're helping government agencies do. So when the secretary does say, well, this is our priority, we have the ability to go in and say, okay, we understand that, that's fantastic, but these are the different areas that are going to be impacted because of that, all right? And that might be okay, and maybe we need to have some trade-off discussions, and that's what we do. I think that the government IT world has a lot of areas that they can go. But I think that what we're seeing is that people passionately want to make smarter, better decisions. We're talking about that from a big data perspective, but I think that they also need to talk about it from making sure that they leverage their experts. There are certainly a lot of people out there who are very passionate about their jobs, passionate about their mission, and we need to be listening to them more, right? And we need to be comparing that and bringing their input to the table. I get asked a lot of times about what are our lessons learned, and it's a really interesting question or interesting problem. I think the biggest lesson is this is a cultural change. All right, culture is one of the most difficult things to change within a government organization. And sitting at GTRA and sitting in the conferences, we know that this is a hot topic that people are talking about right now. And when we're asking people to change the way that they're making some decisions, they've really got to embrace it. And you need an executive champion from the top who's going to embrace this as well. Now that the CIO has some more authority, given some of the legislative changes with HTRA, we really feel very passionate that CIO can be our champion and bring us to the table.